Isopanisad that we are discussing. Good. So we covered the invocation mantra last time. Yeah. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. And before that, we covered the introduction to the Isopanisad, fantastic lecture given by Srila Prabhupada, which was transcribed to as the introduction to Isopanisad. So any quick questions? Okay, we will take, but let's do some quick revision first of the things that we have covered. So what do you remember about our last class on the invocation mantra? Yeah, Anita Mataji, go ahead.
Yeah, so from the last discussion, what I recall is that Krishna is infinite.
Very nice.
And
Krishna is infinite. Very good.
Is infinite, and all the units that come out from him still remains complete.
Very good.
And all emanations from him, example, this whole material world is complete.
Very nice. Whatever emanates from something which is complete still remains complete. Very good.
And
That's one of the important things. Yeah, that's the definition of the shloka. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, was the concept of the infinity explained here.
Concept of infinity explained here. Very nice. Okay, good, good, very good. Yeah, Indu Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, we have seen that the complete whole or the absolute truth is the complete personality of Godhead. And it is in the it is having three features. First one is the Sat, which is the future realization with impersonal Brahman. Then
Sat means
Chit
eternal.
feature is with the
Sat means eternal. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Then Paramatma deals with both the features, that is Sat and Chit. But the Krishna is having all the three features.
Chit means knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah. Sat is
knowledge.
eternity. Chit is knowledge. Yeah. And your third one is
and Krishna is with all the three features, is Sat, Chit, Ananda. And Ananda features can only be obtained which is in a form position, not the formless. So this itself proves that Krishna is in the Vigraha form, he cannot be formless. And both the other one, that is impersonal Brahman, Paramatma, is coming from the Krishna. So Krishna is the complete whole form.
Very nice. Krishna is the complete whole. Krishna is the inclusion of Paramatma, inclusion of Brahman, and inclusion of his Leelas. The Leelas meaning, so he himself as a person. Yeah. So that is what the Sat, Chit, and Ananda meaning is here. So like what Anita Mataji mentioned earlier, she mentioned that infinity, Lord Krishna is infinity. Now, infinity, to understand infinity is problematic, right? So therefore, Srila Prabhupada explains what this infinity constitutes. Yeah, what the entire completeness of Krishna constitutes. It constitutes of these three things. Sat, Chit, and Ananda. Sat meaning the entire covering, the Brahman, yeah, the light or the eternity form, eternal, yeah, Krishna as the in the form of the eternal light. Yeah. Then Krishna as a reflection in everybody. So every jiva, there is Paramatma inside. It is nothing but the reflection of Lord Krishna, who is there, of this entire light which is there. So that's another aspect. Even that is complete in itself. Yeah, and of course, Lord Krishna himself on the so Sat Chit Ananda, that's how the entire definition of this Om Purnamada comes in. Very good. Okay, what else did we see?
We take 84 million births before we become.
Yeah, 84 lakh. Yeah, very nice. 8.4 million births.
84 million. So, and that is the only form in which consciousness exists.
Very nice.
And
very nice.
it is the only consciousness where you can understand the complete whole. And when we are incomplete, when we think about the complete whole as incomplete.
Yeah, when we don't know exactly.
When we don't know, yeah. So
yeah, ignorance leads us to incompleteness, and therefore that is what leads us to the next verse also. But we will discuss that in a minute. Very nice point. Yeah. So we take 8.4 million births in different species before we get qualified to come into the human form of life. And in the human form of life, can we understand, comprehend this completeness? Yeah. And if we do not endeavor, do not help ourselves to understand this completeness, this Purnam, then it is our problem. So our ignorance leads to thinking that we are incomplete, or the material world is incomplete, or the God is incomplete, and therefore many people question God. How can God do this? But if God is perfect, then whatever he has done has to be perfect. Good. Okay, good. So that is very nice understanding of incompleteness. What else did we see?
Prabhuji, we have also shown that 24 elements of material world is a temporary manifestation, and it is capable of producing all the thing because it is coming from the complete whole.
Correct. Very nice.
And
24 elements
it
are
is
which one? What are those 24 elements? Who knows? We've discussed this in Bhagavad Gita also earlier.
The five gross
Five
elements,
gross.
uh,
Yeah. Very good.
five subtle,
Senses. Yeah. Okay.
then
No, five, not five, three subtle sense. Three subtle elements. Five
three
gross elements, three subtle
three
elements.
subtle elements,
Eight.
then the sense acquiring elements,
So knowledge acquiring
knowledge
senses.
acquiring elements,
Very nice.
then
Knowledge acquiring senses. Another five.
action
Senses. Action.
senses,
Jnanendriya and Karmendriya.
karmendriya,
So 10 and 8 become 18. Okay.
the mind,
The mind is part of the three thing, no? Man,
three
Buddhi,
things.
Ahankar.
Okay.
Okay, so 18 has become another five is
Working senses,
five
subject,
five sense objects.
sense
subjects of
object.
the senses.
Objects of the senses. Very nice. Objects of
Object
the
of the
sense. Yeah, so objects of the senses, another five. So that becomes 23. 18 plus 5, 23. Indu Mataji said 24. What is the 24th one?
Roji Pradhan.
Pradhan, or the Mahat or the entire combination of all of this, what is still remaining. That Mahat or the Pradhan becomes the 24th element in the entire creation. And a combination of all of these creates these small whole units. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. What else? What else did we see? Yeah, Anita Mataji, go ahead. We did so long
Prabhuji, we
presentation.
also discussed that spiritual knowledge is beyond us reach, so
Very
we
nice.
need guidance.
Very nice. Apaurusheya. Spiritual knowledge is apaurusheya. It is beyond the understanding of our senses to comprehend that or to self-realize. Therefore, we need something external to help
Vedas.
us
We need Vedas
understand
to
this.
help. That's
Very
why
nice.
Krishna has made Vedas,
Very
and
nice.
following that is going to help us realize.
Following that, exactly. Very nice. Very nice. Good. So, like I said, we have one invocation, one introduction, yeah, and 18 mantras in this particular book. So around 20 topics we have to discuss. We'll, on an average, take 2 classes for each of the mantra, each of the topic. Yeah, on an average. So we'll complete around in 36 to 40 weeks, hopefully, inshallah, as we say in this area. 40 around 40 to 50 weeks, around a year is what we will take to complete. So let's continue our discussions then on still the invocation. We have a bit of things remaining in the invocation. Let's look at what that is. The 4th and the 5th paragraph. Yeah. So if we look at, okay, just give me a minute. Yeah. This was the invocation, the complete whole. Yeah. How when a complete whole is taken out from a complete whole, still a complete whole remains. That's the Om Purnamada verse. Srila Prabhupada mentions how everything is coming out from a completeness. And we saw so many of these things, completeness of the human thing. Okay. Let's look at what is remaining in the next part of the invocation, which is this one. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Are there any questions to what we have discussed till now in the last two classes? No questions? Okay, very good. So let's then continue.
Hare
on the-
Krishna, I
Okay,
have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the Sat Chit Anand is something I could not understand.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
what we have read of Sat Chit Anand is Sat is eternal, eternity, Chit is consciousness,
Or
and
knowledge,
Ananda is
yeah.
bliss. Yeah. So
Mm.
how do we? I mean, in the paragraph where it is mentioned that Sat is Brahman. The realization of Brahman is Sat. And Chit, we are saying it's realization of Brahman, and so I'm not understanding it actually.
So yeah, so that's the Paramatma realization is understood as a combination of knowledge. Yeah, because you need to know who Lord Krishna is to understand that he is Brahman. There is a light there, and when he reflects the light within our heart, yeah, then that is the knowledge aspect. Yeah, so Sat as in eternity, eternal is always full. There's if from eternity you take out eternity, still eternity will remain, isn't it? Knowledge, so if you have a very huge amount of knowledge, so imagine the entire, a library, a New York library that is there. It's full of knowledge, and still something more is also there. From that, you take one complete set of knowledge out. Still, whatever complete knowledge out is still complete. Whatever remaining is also still complete, isn't it? Yeah. So from that two perspectives, it comes the understanding of this whole. Yeah. And lastly, so what Satchit Ananda is trying to make us make us understand the concept of infinity, or the Lord as infinity. Yeah. So how it is done? It is done in the form that if the Lord is infinite, then what does it mean to be infinite? Yeah. One aspect of infinity is eternity. Eternity as in time and complete continuously living without there's no concept of time. So it is always there. So that is eternity. So from that eternity, you take out a portion. Still that portion will be complete, and the entire eternity will still be complete, isn't it? That's one way to understand. Yeah. The other way to understand infiniteness is from infiniteness of knowledge. And that's what the Chit understanding is. Yeah. So Sat and Chit both help us understand infiniteness in that particular manner. One from a time or eternal time perspective. Other is from the perspective of eternal knowledge. Yeah. So time, knowledge. And third, what remains is bliss. Bliss as in just happiness. Yeah. So if you imagine if you have just happiness, nothing else. From that happiness, you take out some portion. Still, that happiness will be complete, and whatever remains is also complete, isn't it? Yeah. So this is a mechanism for us to because like we said, right, that the Lord is incomprehensible with our senses. Yeah. So you need different ways to comprehend what the completeness means or what infiniteness means. Yeah. So that infiniteness, what does it mean? It means Sat, Chit, and Ananda. That is how that particular understanding is brought in, and that is the definition, or that is the nature of the infinite. What is the nature of infinite? Sat, Chit, and Ananda. Sat as in eternity, it is complete, always that. Chit as in full knowledge or consciousness. Yeah, and Ananda as in complete bliss. Yeah. So when you combine these three understandings, there is some inkling of what this whole, or this what is infiniteness means, what is Purnam. So infinite is also, if you look at it from a different perspective, it is Purnam also. Purnam as in complete, so complete that anything taken out, still completeness remains. So that's how the understanding is tried to brought in from our Vedas and Vedic understanding. Yeah, makes sense? Yeah, okay. Yeah, Anita Mataji had a point. Go ahead.
So, Guruji, going from the discussion, the very renowned people like on in terms of enlightenment, those who do tapas and all that, do you think they are in the phase of Satchit Anand?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
constantly contemplating on the God and nothing else matter, and they are
Yes.
always in the sense of happiness. I mean,
Yes.
can we relate to that?
Yes,
Okay.
that is what they are trying to achieve. They are trying to achieve Satchidananda Rupa. The Sat, Chit,
Okay.
and Ananda. Satchidananda is the breakup. The Sandhi Vichhed is Sat,
Yes.
Chit, and Ananda. Yeah,
Okay.
of Satchidananda. So that's what they are trying to achieve. They're trying to realize the supreme form.
Right.
Yeah. So now comes the problem that okay, how do I, if the supreme truth is infinite and there is infiniteness to understand, how do I understand that there is a form of Krishna, yeah, or there's a form of the supreme, because a form shows limited. You are now trying to put in the limitless into a limit, isn't it? Yeah. So therefore that's where the conception comes that this particular limit which is there, that limit is only because of our misunderstanding or our incomplete understanding of the Lord. The limitedness comes in because of the ignorance that we have. Ignorance that something unlimited can also be limited just to represent itself. You get the point? Yeah, that is what here the understanding of this completeness, but still shown as, because our senses or our knowledge acquiring senses are limited, and therefore that particular aspect comes in. Yeah. Yeah, Anita Mataji, go ahead.
So it's due to the, like earlier you had explained, that we are unable to see this because of the sense defect in our senses.
Defect in
Is
our
it?
senses, exactly. 4 defects we have seen, right? And one of the defects is
Yeah.
our imperfect senses.
Imperfect senses. Yes, Guruji. Correct.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so does that answer that question on Satchidananda? Okay, great. Any other point? Somebody else also raised hands earlier? No? Okay, great. So we've done, like I said, each section we'll try to attempt to complete it in 2 classes, 2 discussions. Now let's complete the remaining aspect of the invocation shloka. So invocation shloka, we've seen the first three paragraphs. Let's try and comprehend and discuss on the 4th and the 5th paragraph of Srila Prabhupada in his purport. Yeah, so let's read this one. Yeah, Aruna Mataji can read the 4th paragraph.
Hare Krishna. Because we do not know that there is a complete arrangement in nature of our maintenance, we make efforts to utilize the resources of nature to create so-called complete life of sense enjoyment. Because a living entity cannot enjoy the life of the sense without being dovetailed with the complete whole. The misleading life of sense enjoyment is illusion.
Okay,
The
hold
end
on.
of
Hold on. Yeah.
yeah.
So now,
Take it.
now comes this. Srila Prabhupada is extending the discussion that we are doing as to why we sense incompleteness. Yeah. And the clear point we sense incompleteness is because of ignorance. We do not know. That is the point that he makes. We do not know. What do we do not know? That there is a complete arrangement in nature for everything. Like, for example, does the elephant, it requires what, 5 tons of grass or whatever amount, 1 ton of grass every day. Does it make arrangement for this every day? Oh, I have to work and I have to get this and I have to, automatically all of that is made available for him. A small baby, when it is just born, does it have to make arrangements for its food? No, automatically the food is arranged through the breast milk of the mother. Yeah. So automatically there is complete arrangement of things in nature, or in, that is how the entire material conception is set up. Lord Krishna's creation of perfection is complete in every aspect. But what happens to us? We do not know this aspect, or we do not comprehend this aspect. We do not understand. So therefore, what we try to do, we try to over endeavor. We think we are incomplete. We think we are not able to get everything, and therefore, what we are trying to do, the living entity cannot enjoy. What is it trying to do? It's trying to find completeness. And the completeness could be in many aspects, not only just food or not only just protection. Or not. We are trying to find completeness because we are not aware that we are part of a whole. We are disconnected. So as a disconnected part, we are trying to find completeness in ourselves, in our lives, in our in every aspect. And then Srila Prabhupada gives the analogy here of this particular understanding. Yeah, go ahead, Madhuji.
The hand of body, the hand of a body is complete unit only as long as it is attached to the complete body. When the hand is severed from the body, it may appear like a hand, but it actually has none of the potencies of a hand. Similarly, living beings are part and parcel of the complete whole, and if they are severed from the complete whole, the illusory representation of completeness cannot fully satisfy them.
Exactly. Yeah. So now the analogy is that of a hand. So a hand, as long as it's attached to the body, the hand is complete in itself. It can do all of the things, whatever the hand can do, and the body also can do. But imagine if the hand is cut off, then is the cut out hand is of any value? It's of no value. You have to throw it away. You have to bury it, burn it, or whatever. Yeah. And all of it may look like a hand, but it cannot do. It cannot function. It cannot do any of these particular things. So same logic, if you extend that logic, we as jivas are also part and parcel of the whole. But what have we done? We have segregated ourselves. We have removed ourselves. We do not know. We are not thinking we are part of a complete. Yeah. And therefore, everything seems incomplete. Why? Because we have segregated ourselves from the complete whole, which is the infinite, which is Lord Krishna. So because of that segregation, we are thinking everything is incomplete, and we are trying to find completeness in everything. How does the hand, how does it become complete? It has to get reattached to the body. So for example, if I have a very huge machine, and in that machine there are a lot of these small nuts and screws and bolts and whatever, and one of the nut is removed and thrown away. Does that nut have value? Does that small thingy, hexagonal thing, it does have no value. People, but if it is attached to the whole machine, then that nut is very valuable. Why? Because it is part of that whole machine, isn't it? So how does the nut complete itself? By doing its function of being a part of the whole. So even all jivas, we have to understand we are part of a whole. Unfortunately, from time immemorial, what have we done? We are thinking we are independent. We are thinking I am the controller. I can do whatever so this I am separate. That is what is causing us this incompleteness. How do we complete ourselves? We have to attach ourselves to back to the whole, back to the complete, back to the Om, back to the Purnam. So when that happens, then automatically everything takes care of. That's what gets finally concluded in the last paragraph of this invocation mantra. Let's read this one quickly. Aditya Prabhuji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna. The completeness of human life can be realized only when one engages in the service of the complete good. All services in this world, whether social, political, communal, international, or even interplanetary, will remain incomplete until they are dovetailed with the complete whole. When everything is dovetailed with the complete whole, the attached parts and parcel also become complete in themselves.
Yes. So that is what is the trick. That we have to dovetail ourselves with the complete. Now, what does this mean? What does this dovetailing mean? What does this dovetailing mean? Any guesses? We
Always think of Krishna in
always
everything.
always
Think of Krishna in
always
everything.
think of Krishna. Very nice, very nice. Yeah, what we've discussed in Bhagavad Gita in detail. We basically connect everything to Lord Krishna one way or the other. Yeah, very nice. Krishna says that, right? That every duty that you do, think of me. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu ma manusmara yudhyacha. When you're doing your duty, think of me. So that's one way of dovetailing with the Supreme. What other ways of dovetailing the Supreme? One is thinking of Krishna while you're doing your duty. What else?
Using
We're
everything
offering our reserves.
surrender everything to
Okay,
Krishna,
hold on.
all
One
your
at a time. One at a time. Yeah, Parina Mataji, go ahead.
Using everything for Krishna.
Using
Every
everything
sources.
for Krishna. Very nice, very nice. Yes. That's how you dovetail. So whatever resources you have, you don't use it for your own self, but use it in connection with Lord Krishna. Very nice, very nice. What else? Sorry, Aditya Prabhuji, go ahead.
If you are not directly able to serve Lord Krishna, then we can offer the results of that activity to Lord.
Results of the activity can be offered to Lord Krishna. Very nice. You go off or to office to work. Yeah, and the result of that office work is a salary. So you take that salary, use it for Krishna's service. You use it for getting a nice altar, doing up your home so that Krishna is there, or you buy books, sell it, or you give it to temple, whatever. You can utilize the salary result of your effort. We do even with cooking. We do cooking in our house, a lot of effort. Then we take a part of that and we offer it to Lord Krishna, saying, Krishna, this is for you. Yeah, so we do that offering. So the entire cooking has now become Krishna conscious. We've dovetailed it with the complete whole. Yes, yeah, Rashmi, go ahead.
no,
You had a
I
point.
was
Okay, no,
saying,
sorry, was it Aruna Mataji? Go ahead, yeah, Aruna Mataji.
yeah.
Human body is for sense purification. Like Amrish Maharaja has used everything
Every
for
part of his body.
of our body for Lord Krishna.
Very nice,
Thinking
very nice.
of Lord Krishna. And we have to connect with Krishna, otherwise we get connected with Maya.
Very nice, very nice. And that's how the incompleteness will come. Very good. Yeah. So just like Ambrish Maharaj, very good example. Ambrish Maharaj, he connected everything. His hands he used for Krishna's service, his eyes to watch Krishna's pictures, and his legs to go to the temple or to the dham, and whatever, all those 9 things which are mentioned there as part of that shloka. Savai pumsam paro dharmo. No, not Savai pumsam. What is that? Savai mana Krishna padaravindayoho. So that particular verse which is there, that clearly, let's look at that verse. Just give me a minute. I will put it on. It's a very nice verse to remember as to how we can think of or how we can complete ourselves to the whole. Where is that gone? 1 minute. Not here.
9:4:18.
Yeah, it's there. Share all this. Can that be seen? No, it's not come out yet, right? Wait. Oops. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Aruna Mataji, since you have given this nice, let's read this. Go ahead. No, we can't hear you, Mataji. You're muted.
Maharaja Amrish always engaged his mind in meditating upon the lotus feet of Krishna. His words is in describing the glories of Lord. His hands in cleansing the Lord temple, and his ears in hearing the words spoken by Krishna or about Krishna. He engaged his eyes in seeing the deity of Krishna, Krishna's temple, and Krishna's place like Mathura and Vrindavan. He engaged his sense of touch in touching the bodies of the Lord's devotee. He engaged his sense of smell in smelling the fragrance of Tulsi offered to the Lord, and he engaged his tongue in tasting the Lord's prasad. He engaged his legs in walking to the holy place and temples of the Lord. His head in bowing down before the Lord, and all his desires in serving the Lord 24 hours a day. Indeed, Maharaja Amrisha never desire anything for his own sense gratification. He engaged all his sense in devotional service in various engagements related to the Lord. This is the way to increase attachment for the Lord and be completely free from all material desires. Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
very nice. So what do you think? Is it practical? Not practical. Everybody is scared suddenly. Oh, how will I become Ambarish Maharaj? Yes,
Difficult,
Sachin says it is practical.
difficult.
It's difficult. What is the difficulty?
It's yena kena prakarena Krishna Mandivesh.
Very nice. Yena kena prakarena mana Krishna niveshaya. One way or the other, put your mind to Krishna. Very nice. Yeah. So I mean, let's try and understand the difficulties here. So yeah, Rashmi says it's difficult. Why?
So we are introduced to this concept only now. And
Okay.
we've been
So we
living in
again we
this.
do not know. That's why.
We are still controlled by Maya.
Very
Maybe
nice. Very nice. Yeah.
I mean, it's still there are two different lives that we are living. One, a life which is to do your dharma and to fulfill your responsibilities as a whatever role player you are, and the other one is a role of your of the soul, or the role of your
Yeah.
spirituality. So there is a lot of difference between these two roles, or
Very
sometimes
nice.
there
Yes.
is there is a difference in what do you say, in the responsibilities, carrying out of the
Carrying
responsibility.
out of this. Very good. Very
Now
good. Very practical.
dovetailing, yeah. So I mean, you
You have to dovetail both.
condition,
That's what Buddhi Yoga is. We
yeah,
discussed in the
yeah.
second chapter. Yeah.
So constantly you have to look at life and look at things, keeping
And try to
Krishna.
keep connecting.
Yes, yes. For
Yes.
instance, all the time your legs may not take you to holy places. Maybe you're
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
drop your child to school, or I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
But yeah. Okay. So
So
you're I'm taking okay, let's take this specific example. I'm taking my child to school and my legs are being used for doing the school. How will I connect this to Krishna? How will I make this as a Krishna conscious activity? Yes, Sachin Prabhu had a point.
To this specific example that you are asking, Prabhuji,
Yeah.
it is like because my child goes to the school, and she is going to be able to read and write, and then she's also going to be able to read and write about the scriptures of Krishna
Very
or
nice.
the
Yes.
Krishnas.
And
So
therefore I have to teach her.
the point I wanted to make before
No,
that
hold on,
is,
hold on.
Prabhuji,
Let's
yeah,
complete this
sorry.
point. Hold on to your point.
Okay.
We'll come to that one. Yeah, Sharmila Mataji had a point. Go ahead on the same one. Go ahead.
Yeah, same one. So when we are going to school, we sing Krishna song or listen to Krishna bhajans, or we talk something about Krishna.
Very nice.
So,
Yes.
so when you're going, it doesn't feel like, like instead of thinking you're going to school, but you're using the time to, think about Krishna.
Very nice.
Like
Very nice.
that's
Okay.
how we do it. Yeah.
Okay, good. Very, very nice. Yeah. So you think of Krishna on the way in school, you're doing your work and you're sending your kid to school so that, like what Sachin Prabhu said, can combine both of them. Yeah, Anita Mataji had a point. Go ahead on the same one.
Guruji, even one more thought came to me, that while you're dropping the child to school, you can begin with it by, doing the worship of the deity at home of Lord
Very
Krishna.
nice. Yeah. Or as soon as you step out, you say Narsimha Arti mantra.
Yes. And the other is,
Okay.
while say returning back, if there is a temple of Krishna nearby, just, try to visit it before going home.
Yes, very nice. Yeah, that's I'm going to school, but on the way, I'm going to this and then I'll go to school. Okay. So, yena kena prakarena. Yeah. So, of course, it is going to be difficult in the beginning. Yeah, because like you rightly pointed out, I do not know this particular concept. Yeah. And because I do not know this particular concept, I am not aware. So now you'll have to start making, now that you're aware of this concept, now that we've already completed Bhagavad Gita discussion once. Yeah, we are now aware of this particular concept, and therefore we have to now start dovetailing both your lives. It can't be too separate, that I live as this thing as separate, this as separate. Yeah, that is the clear understanding. Okay, sorry, Sachin Prabhu was adding a different point. Go ahead.
Yes, Prabhuji, I am also agreeing with Rashmi what she says. It becomes because we are material beings and our senses they lead us to so many things. So
Very nice. Yes.
I'm a cunning devotee. You see,
Mm.
I kind of say that even my mistakes, are part of my devotion, and please forgive me. And my past, because I wasn't aware, it's all devoted
Yeah.
to you, and my future is also devoted to you. So I just make a universal set and just devote. So that
Correct.
way, even if I make mistake, it's just a part of it, and I
Exactly.
just ask for forgiveness.
Exactly. Exactly. So finally,
That's what.
intent has to be pure. The intent you have to start with this intent that I'm going to be as much as possible Krishna conscious with whatever of course there will be because for 2 billion or 3 or 10 billion lifetimes we've never thought of this particular way. Now we have started thinking in this particular way because we've got exposed to this knowledge. So from now on, of course, we have to start doing this. And one of the most power, what other ways can you dovetail to the complete whole? Yeah, Pratibha Mataji had a point. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Also, we are like our children, we are making more and more Krishna Bhaktas. Like in case of my son, if you remember, we met in that Krishna Rasa. He keeps asking, when is the next one?
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. And I told him after you finish your graduation, let's give the Mudi Mundan. What you say you offer your hair, no, in
Hair.
Tirupati. Not
Tirupati.
even a split second he thought. He
Nice.
said, yes, mommy, let's do it.
Very nice.
And
Very.
we went to this Jabal Ali temple, the new one.
Hmm,
And you know what he asked for? Japamani.
Oh,
He
nice.
said japa. So I feel, we can do it in so many ways. And
Exactly.
thanks to
Very
you,
nice.
Prabhuji, and also Aditya Prabhuji, I started chanting 16 rounds every
Very
day
nice. Very nice.
successfully. It's a different feeling. Thank you, Rashmi. So
Very
if
nice.
one day I don't do for some reason, I don't, I
Exactly.
feel like
That's
some, like a
very nice.
disturbance,
Very
so I
nice. So
feel
that's you. So you're suggesting all of us that we do to japa to find the complete wholeness.
yes,
Yes. Very
that's
nice.
the
That's yeah.
perfect
Very nice.
way, offering all the food to Lord first and then
Exactly.
as prasad. All simple things you taught, Prabhuji. So thank you
Exactly,
for
exactly. It's
finding that.
simplicity. Exactly,
Yes,
exactly.
yes,
It's all simplicity. That's how you get connected to the
yes.
complete whole.
And
Very
one
nice.
more thing I want to
Yeah.
share, like before, like I'm a professor in a university and we're teaching dental students. So I used to get very angry with the attitude and behavior of the students, and then one of my friends said, see, you're doing your karma. And if they're behaving badly and if they're not keen to learn, it's their karma. So you do your karma and you leave it and you be calm. So since
Very,
that day, my full every day is very nice.
very nice. Exactly. We're just executing our karma. And if you also remember Lord Krishna during that time, it will,
Yes, yes,
yeah, you are dovetailing to the complete whole, even in that sense. Yeah.
yes.
Otherwise, what happened? All of these anger and all of these are these are symptoms of incompleteness. Yeah.
No, I don't get angry, but just
Yeah.
you should come and see them. You will also get angry. Some behavior of the,
Yeah,
especially
yeah, yeah, exactly.
patients, because
Yeah.
they cannot treat the
True.
patients in a bad way. They're human
True.
beings, but these students, they don't have that compassion and, um, mainly compassion towards the patients.
Covered this. Yeah.
Such cases, yes, I do get upset. But now I don't, because what they're doing is their karma. And yes, I will from now on just say Hare Krishna and move on.
Yeah.
You will
Yes.
be inspiring many more to follow your path with your
Nice.
behavior, with your
Yeah,
um,
exactly.
I'm inspired by
your
all of
life is
you.
your message, like how
Yeah,
you people will someday understand what you're doing.
Very
yes.
So
nice. Yes. So again, coming
Thank
back to dovetailing to the complete whole. Yeah, sorry, Pratibha Mataji, go ahead.
That's all, Prabhuji. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
okay.
Thanks
Oh, sorry.
again. Yes.
Yeah, very nice. Shamila Mataji had a point. I can see your raised hand. Okay. No problem. Yeah. So that's another. So like so many things we saw. Yeah, doing japa, offering the result of the activity, while doing the activity, thinking of Lord Krishna. All these are processes to complete ourselves to the whole, to attach ourselves to the whole. Yeah, and slowly, slowly, it's a slow process. Yeah, of getting full attachment to the complete whole. Slowly, 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 it will happen. And when you're in that position, you will never feel incomplete, and everything will be taken care of at that particular stage. Yeah, Aditya Prabhuji, go ahead.
Prabhuji, you always talk about that overarching principle, right? Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna.
Very
So in
nice.
never forget Krishna, like we are supposed to follow four regulative principles. So those also add in doing our seva properly, in remembering Lord Krishna. So that was the point I wanted to add.
Very
Hare
nice,
Krishna.
very nice. Yes, always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Overarching principle to be never. If you always meditate on this particular thing, then automatically the dovetailing to the complete whole will also happen. Very nice. Okay, that completes two aspects. One, to show that there is completeness. And why do we feel incompleteness? Because of lack of knowledge. Once you get knowledge, and that's what we are doing, we read Bhagavad Gita, Isopanisad, and all of these other things, so that we can sense completeness. That is what will happen as part of this entire knowledge, because we will come to know that we are part of a whole. For example, if a beggar on the street comes to know that his father is a multi billionaire and he has left him multi-billionaire, how will he feel? He was begging for life. Now suddenly he's got all of this. That is how that particular entire thing. Once you come to know that Lord Krishna is our father, the problem is we do not know. And Lord Krishna is what? He is Satchidananda. He is complete in everything. So when he's complete in everything, and we come to know I am part of that complete, then everything becomes complete. And that is where the problem is, because we are viched, we are segregated, we have taken ourselves away from this, and therefore we are feeling incompleteness from time immemorial. Yeah. Okay, so now comes this very first mantra that we will look at. Again, we'll follow the same principle of comprehending what Srila Prabhupada helps us to understand in this particular setup. Yeah. So mantra one, Rashmi wants to try. Go ahead.
I can see the Hindi part.
There's no Hindi on this, I think.
I'll see.
It's not in the book also, I think.
I have.
You have? Okay, try. Yeah.
Ishavasya midam sarvam.
Very nice. Yat kincha.
Yatkiccha
Kincha.
jagatya jagatam.
Yat kincha.
Yatkincha jagatyam jagat.
Very nice.
Tena
Tyaktena.
Tyaktena
Bhunjitha.
Bhunjita ma
Grudha.
Grudha kasya swidhanam.
Svidhanam. Very nice. Very nice. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Yat kincha jagatyam jagat. Tena tyaktena bhunjitha. Ma grudha kasya svidhanam. So let's see what this one means in the translation. Go ahead.
Everything animate or inanimate that is within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself, which are set aside as his quota, and one should not accept other things, knowing well to whom they belong.
So what is this important principle talking of? Important principle is talking of two aspects it talks of. One is everything animate or inanimate, which is within this universe, is controlled and owned by the Lord. Who is the real owner? It is the Supreme Lord who is the real owner. So for example, Srila Prabhupada gives multiple examples. Example, if I build this building, I'm the builder of this building. I can say this is mine. But what have I done? I've taken sand and material and steel and all of that, and I have just constructed all of this together into a form of a house. And I've said this house belongs to me. But have I created the sand? Have I created the steel? Have I created the iron ore? Have I created, all of these are available already. Yeah, and I've just taken those and I have made a particular house. Yeah. So therefore, in that sense, whom does this house belong to? Because the sand is made by the Lord, isn't it? The bricks, the material of the bricks is made by the Lord. So everything, therefore, in the indirect or a direct way belongs to the Lord. It is controlled and owned by the Lord. We are only temporarily, we are owners of these particular things. Yeah, that is one part that is this being said. Yes, Sachin, Prabhu, go ahead.
Prabhuji, your exam body as well.
Sorry, we missed that, Prabhuji. Can you say
Your
that again?
example, your example reminds me of human body as well. Like,
Exactly.
we,
Very nice. Yeah. Very
from
true.
the
Very true.
scientific point of view, nothing is ours. We all got from the earth, and
Exactly.
so I don't
Yeah. Bhumir, Apanalo, Vayukham, all of this body itself is not ours. Yeah. We are just temporary residents in this body. As a spirit soul, I'm a temporary resident inside this body. So even the body is not mine. So therefore, everything animate or inanimate within this universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. That's first thing this mantra one is saying. What is the other thing that is saying? It is saying that therefore, because nothing belongs to me, I should take or I should accept only those things which are my quota. Now the question will come, how do I know what my quota is? Maybe the 10 million dirhams that is sitting there is also my quota, and therefore I want that. So that's an interesting thought to have, but we will come to that point. But so whatever you have is your quota, is what you should be happy with. Yeah, and everything else we should not try to unnecessarily endeavor. That is what it is trying to say. And now let's connect both of these particular things through the purport and the discussion in the purport. Let's look at the same thing. We will do group discussions separately, but in this particular case, I want a full group inclusion of this particular in this discussion. So let's look at the first paragraph. Yeah, and maybe read this one. Yeah, Rashmi, you can read it.
Vedic knowledge is infallible because it comes down through the perfect disciplic succession of spiritual masters, beginning with the Lord Himself.
Okay, hold on now. So now why is Srila Prabhupada suddenly talking about Vedic knowledge? Yeah, because he's trying to prove that mantra one, which is Vedic knowledge, it knows exactly what that particular knowledge, that knowledge is perfect. Yeah. And it has come down in this disciplic succession, this perfect knowledge is come down. Is infallible means it is not wrong at all. So if the mantra one is saying everything belongs to the Lord, then yes, everything belongs to the Lord. And that we should not unnecessarily over endeavor and try to get more and more and more and more, rather than trying to dovetail with whatever we have. That is what is this particular mantra one talking about. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada is establishing very first that Vedic knowledge is perfect. Why? Because it has come from the perfect person, which is the Lord Himself. Okay, let's see further. Go ahead.
Since he spoke the first word of Vedic knowledge, the source of this knowledge is transcendental. The words spoken by the Lord are called as apurushe, which indicates that they are not delivered by any mundane person. A living being who lives in the mundane world has 4 defects. He is certain to commit mistakes, he is subject of illusion, he has a propensity to cheat, and his senses are imperfect. No one with these 4 imperfections can deliver perfect knowledge.
Okay,
The
hold on. Yeah.
Vedas.
So now comes this particular point that the knowledge of the Vedas is not man-made. Why it is not man-made? Because man-made means these 4 defects are there. If these 4 defects are there, whatever you create are going to be defective. Therefore, the knowledge which a human being is trying to bring out is always going to be defective. And therefore, if you see in today's, what is the premise of any scientific advancement? That something more might come up in the future which will disprove what is already there today. Yeah, and all the Nobel prizes are for what? For disproving what is already existing, and something new has come. Oh, something new has come. Oh, something new has come. And we keep giving prizes for something new which is discovered again and again. But not with the Vedic understanding. Therefore, the difference between the knowledge, material knowledge, and spiritual knowledge seems to be static. Yeah. And why does it seem to be static? Because it is fact based, complete, and there's nothing beyond that particular aspect. Like when we talk about a spirit soul, there is nothing beyond to comprehend about the spirit. In fact, science doesn't even recognize the concept of a soul. But when Lord Krishna says that you take reincarnation, vasam se jirnani yatha vihaya, yeah, that we saw in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, that a spirit soul goes through the different cycles of birth, old age, disease, and death. That is complete knowledge. And maybe at some point of time, subsequent to the works of Dr. Ian Richardson, we will get to know some scientific proofs about all of this also. Yeah, Pratibha Mataji had a point. Go ahead.
Yes, Prabhuji. Actually, I was going to say the same thing. There's a branch of science called noetic science, which actually combines the, all the Vedic literature and tries to prove
Oh, nice.
the basis of science. So they have done an experiment where, a terminally ill patient was being weighed. And right at the time of his death, there was a very minor scale of reduction in the weight. And they have also captured some images while during live surgeries where everything is being recorded. When the
Wow.
patient dies, something like very light white kind of a thing leaves the body.
Oh, interesting.
So they have
Okay.
actually
So
proven that there is a soul.
very nice. Yes, there is an existence of a soul which
Yes,
is being,
yes.
which is being. Yeah. So exactly. But then all of this is now coming out recently. Yeah. Till now, till recent times, even all of these are in a peer-reviewed paper. I don't think it is still, set up and that way. Again, my point is, knowledge keeps on evolving in the material sense, whereas in the spiritual sense, it is apaurushaya. It is, yeah, infallible. It cannot be improved further. Yeah, Anita Mataji had a point. Go ahead.
Yeah, in connection to this, there are several experiments done by Dr. Brian Weiss, and there are a number of books published by him to give the idea about incarnation, and he has proven it through his subject that there is a relationship between the past and the present.
Wow. Okay. Nice. Yeah, so law of karma getting proven probably there, which is again a paurushaya, isn't it? A
Yeah.
law which is beyond.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, very nice. Okay, let's read ahead. Yeah, sorry, Pratibha Mataji had a point further.
No, Prabhuji, thank you.
Okay, go ahead, Rashmi.
No one with these four imperfections can deliver perfect knowledge. The Vedas are not produced by such an imperfect creature. Vedic knowledge was originally imparted by the Lord into the heart of Brahma, the first created living being, and Brahma in his turn disseminated this knowledge to his sons and disciples who have handed it down through history.
Yeah, so the first knowledge, so Lord Brahma, when he gets created in this material world, this is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah, and he comes in this material world and as the product of the Nabhi of Lord Vishnu in the lotus, or in the form of the lotus. And when he comes there, he is totally unaware. Lord Krishna, he does meditation on Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna, through in his heart, comes in his heart and gives him knowledge. Yeah, and then this particular first knowledge then gets expanded further. It gets expanded further into different branches, and that's how we've seen different Vedas, right? Shruti, Smruti, the four Vedas, then Upanishads coming out of the Vedas, then Upavedas, and all of those. The entire branch of knowledge has been developed by various disciples and various set of people who come from the lineage of Lord Brahma. Now, that is what Srila Prabhupada is saying. Therefore, this knowledge which is there, Shruti and Smruti which is there, is is apaurushaya. Apaurushaya, something beyond this three modes of material nature. That's one part. Now, what Srila Prabhupada is establishing, that whatever is said in mantra 1, whatever is said in the invocation is perfect knowledge. Now we have to comprehend and understand that particular aspect here. Okay. Okay, let's read further in that sense. Aditya Prabhuji can read the next one.
Hare Krishna. Since the Lord is Purnam, all perfect, there is no possibility of his being subjected to the laws of material nature, which he controls. However, both the living entities and inanimate objects are controlled by the laws of nature and ultimately by the Lord's potency. This Isopanisad is part of the Yajurveda, and consequently it contains information concerning the proprietorship of all things existing within the universe.
So now we get to know a little bit more about what this Isopanishad is about. What is it about? It says it is part of the Yajurveda, and consequently it contains information concerning the proprietorship of all things existing in the universe. So proprietorship of all things existing in the universe, meaning who owns what, and therefore one of the first things that it talks about is about ownership. So Ishopanishad's first thing, what does it talk about? Everything animate or inanimate that is within this universe is controlled or owned by the Lord. So this principle is a very important principle to comprehend. It's called the Ishavasya principle. So if you see, in fact, Ishavasyam, Ishavasyam idam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat. Everything in the world is owned by whom? By Lord Krishna, by the Supreme Lord. Now, of course, we've read Bhagavad Gita, so Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, I am the origin of Brahman and I am origin of everything. So we know it is Lord Krishna who is getting referred to here. But in if you read Ishopanishad in its isolation, then you will not know who this Lord is about. Who the Lord is this talking of. Because right now, when you just read Ishopanishad without understanding Bhagavad Gita, without understanding the basics, we might get confused. Yeah, and therefore some of these things are to be read in conjunction or after you've read the Bhagavad Gita is a basic book. Yeah, above Bhagavad Gita comes off because that explains real basic things. Because Arjuna behaves like a jiva there, and Lord Krishna becomes his guru and gives him knowledge, isn't it? And he gives him basic knowledge. He gives him as knowledge as basic as you are not the body, you are a spirit soul. Now that and then of course he talks more about himself. We see 7th chapter, 9th chapter discussing about Lord Krishna, and we come to know that whatever here the Lord is mentioned is actually Lord Krishna here. So just if you read Ishopanishad, you might not know who is being referred to as the Lord here, and therefore the question might come: is this Lord something which is inanimate, something which is formless, or is only light? So therefore all of those conception comes. But we don't have that misconception. Why? Because we've already read the Bhagavad Gita and we've already read Lord Krishna's those 5 things. Bhagavad Gita talks about 5 things. What are those 5 things? Anybody remember? Everybody remembers?
The soul, the super soul.
First one always is
Ishwar.
Ishvara. Very nice. Yes, first is Ishvara, then
Jiva.
Jiva. Very nice.
Karma.
Karma. Okay.
Kal.
Kal. Actually,
Prakriti.
karma comes last, and Prakriti.
Prakriti.
Yeah, Prakriti, Kal, and Karma. That's how it comes. Yeah. Yeah. So 5 things. So first thing that it talks about is Ishvara. Ishvara is the Lord. And Bhagavad Gita, we've already covered who the Lord is and how does he get expanded and how does he realized 3 forms of realization of the Lord and all of those. And Krishna explains, I am the source of Brahman, I am source of Paramatma, I am that Lord himself. We've seen that. The secret, topmost, more secret and topmost secret. In the 18th chapter, we've seen the progression. And after knowing the topmost secret, we've come to know that the Lord mentioned here is Lord Krishna himself. Okay, so the point here is that the first principle that gets established here. What is the first principle that gets established? That everything belongs to Lord Krishna. Everything belongs to the Lord. And what is this principle called? This principle is called the Ishavasyam principle. And that is what this particular Isopanishad talks about as the part of this beginning. It's part of the Yajurveda. Yeah, of the four Vedas, Yajurveda expands into Isopanishad and lots of other things. And what does it talks about? It talks about who owns everything, the proprietorship of things in the world. Yeah, and that's what this particular principle is getting described here in this third paragraph. We'll read this third paragraph and close for the day. Yeah, somebody else can read. Yeah, Parina Mataji can read.
Yes, Prabhu.
Go ahead.
The Lord's proprietorship over everything within the universe is confirmed confirmed in the seventh chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. What is this?
7.4 and 7.5. Yeah.
7.4 and 5, where para and apara prakriti are discussed. The elements of nature, earth, water, fire, air, and ether, mind, intelligence, and ego, all belong to the Lord's inferior material energy, apara prakriti, whereas the living being, the organic energy, is the superior energy, para prakriti. Both of these prakritis or energies are emanations from the Lord, and ultimately He is the controller of everything that exists. There is nothing in the universe that does not belong to either the para or the apara prakriti. Therefore, everything is the property of the supreme being. Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
So now, Hare Krishna. Explanation of this Ishavasyam principle. What is that explanation? Srila Prabhupada refers to Bhagavad Gita 7.4 and 7.5. Who remembers? Anybody remembers? Or should we go?
Bhumi,
Bhumi,
7.
Rapo. Yeah, go ahead.
Bhumi, Rapo, Nala, Vayu.
Yeah.
That I don't remember.
Yeah.
I have to check, Prabhuji. That
Okay,
is
it's there, it's correct. Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayu Kham Mano Buddhirevacha Ahankara iti yamme Bhinna Prakritir Ashtada. So 7.4 Bhagavad Gita. It says earth, water, air, fire. So these are five gross elements that we had also discussed earlier, and they become less and less gross as we grow. Yeah, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Three things. All these eight together constitute my separated material energy. My is Lord Krishna here. Yeah. So if Lord Krishna, all these are Lord Krishna's energy, then all of these, but everything which is consisting of earth, water, air, fire, ether, mind, intellect, false ego belongs to Lord Krishna, isn't it? And of course, if you look at the next verse, what does the next verse say? Anybody remembers next verse? It talks about the soul. Apart from these eight, there is something else. Very nice. Yeah, go ahead, Anand.
Yeah, Prakriti Vidhi me param Jivabhuta Mahabhav Yayedam Dadyate Jagat.
So this is the other part, that all of those are inanimate things. Bhumi, Rapo, Nalo, Vayu, Kham, Man, Buddhi, Ahankar are inanimate. They are not, they don't have life. But there is something else apart from this, Apareyam. Apart from this, there is something else, which is what? Jiva Bhuta. So apart from this, there is a superior energy. And what is that superior energy? It comprises of the living entities. And what are the living entities trying to do? They are exploiting the resources of this material inferior nature. So therefore, even the superior energy, the jiva, also comes from where? Comes from Lord Krishna. So the all immovable things, all alive things, or jivas, where are they coming from? They're all emanations of Lord Krishna. That's what the word says here. They are emanations. Both these prakritis or energies are emanations of the Lord. And ultimately, He is the controller of everything that exists. There is nothing in the universe that does not belong either to the para or para prakriti. Either Bhumi, Rapo, Analo, Vayu, Kham. It either belongs to that or belongs to, along with Man, Buddhi, Ahankar, and Jiva. Everything else is covered, right? The whole thing, whole material world is covered by these eight elements, isn't it? So that's what here. So if you see, even the material world, it basically consists of these eight. We've seen the picture, right? If you remember the picture, let me bring that up. Give me a minute. Yeah. So if you look at this picture that we always have of spiritual and material worlds, can you see? Does it come?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is, come on. Yeah. So this is that our picture of the spiritual and material world. And yeah. And if you see here, if this is just one universe, yeah, and in this one universe, if you see what it constitutes, yeah, it constitutes these 8 things, yeah, which you can see here. Earth, air, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego. And when the jiva falls from outside of this universe into it, first it gets connected to false ego, then all of these other coverings come. And therefore, when the jiva comes inside the material world, yeah, what does he have? He has this 8 coverings. Yeah, that is there as part of his, and that's how he gets this body, all of these different types of bodies or whatever. Yeah. So finally, the point is that this material world, the jivas, everything belongs to Lord Krishna. Yeah. And therefore, if everything belongs to Lord Krishna, then who is the original owner of everything? He is the owner of everything. Ishavasyam. So what is the Ishavasyam principle? Everything belongs to Lord Krishna. Yeah. That's the first aspect. Great. So we are out of time. Any quick questions before we end the day? Yeah, Indu Mataji had a point. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I'm not getting this point here. It is mentioned that living being is of Para Shakti and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
the elements are of Apara. But the living being itself is made up of all the elements. So
No,
energies are
Hello. Hold on. Living being is not made of all the elements. Living being is separate. You are separate. The body is separate. The body is made of the Apara Shakti. That is the first knowledge, right? You are not the body. You, the living being, you are not the body. You understanding?
so here
You
it
are
is
a,
mentioned of soul,
yeah, living entity is the soul. Yes.
Para Shakti.
Para is superior energy, right?
But
It says,
Prabhuji,
whereas the living being, the
having
organic
these
energy,
elements also, na? Earth, water, fire,
that is
air.
apara. That is material energy. See, what does it say? The elements, nature, belongs to the earth's inferior material energy, apara shakti. Okay, semicolon, a comma there. Whereas the living being, the organic energy, is a superior energy or para prakriti. Correct?
Yes.
So it's not, it's the living being is not bhumi rapo analo vayukam. It is separate from bhumi rapo analo vayukam. Yeah. That's the first thing. That's the first thing we have to understand when we read Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter also. Lord Krishna says that the Jeev is separate, the coverings are separate. And I am not the covering. I am a jiva. I am not. When I say me, my nose, my eyes, my ears, my head, my body, who's the me here? Is somebody sitting inside this body, right? That jiva is the para prakriti.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I
Yeah.
think with the shlokas she got confused. It's the
Yeah.
shlokas stated apareyam itaspanyam.
Apareyam is apart from this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
That not that
other
aparna.
than yes, other than the
Okay.
Apara Shakti, there is a Parashara Shakti. That's the
Okay. So
shloka
you're
mentioned.
referring to the shloka, Indu
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Maybe I got confused from your question.
Maybe it.
Prabhuji, actually,
maybe
sentences are because of the sentences I'm getting confused.
Okay.
Here it is meant as living being, and it is also known that body is made up of panchabhutas. So
Which are
that's why I'm getting
non-living. No?
confused.
Panchabhuta is non-living. Like earth, sand. Sand, is it living? Fire, is it? It's not living. Yeah, any of these panchabhutas is not, all non-living things. Because the jiva is entering there, therefore they look like they are living. My hand is moving here, there. It is looking like it's living. Why? Because the jiva is there. If my jiva goes out, will the hand move on its own? It will not. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a spark, spiritual spark.
The spiritual spark is there, which is the para prakriti. Okay. Anita Mataji had a point. Go ahead.
Yeah, Guruji, now I'm reflecting on the poetries that or the songs, devotional songs, which always has this link that sab kuch hai tera, kya hai mera, like
Yeah,
I
exactly.
am just thinking of many of the devotional songs which has this reference. So I was just thinking about it, Guruji.
Very nice. Yes. Yes, Pawan Prabhuji had a point. Go ahead.
Sir, I have a question. Can I ask?
Mm-hmm.
Is it related topic or maybe?
No, let's relate it to Isopanisad, please.
Really, like we're learning this knowledge now. Like we learn like Lord is a proprietor. So now till now I am not acting on the level of that Lord is a proprietor. So how should we start like a step?
It will come.
I just want to see.
Okay. So knowledge is acquired in 3 stages. Yeah, knowledge is acquired in 3 stages. First stage is discovery. Today you have discovered, oh, everything belongs to the Lord. So you've just discovered this knowledge. Now then the second part will come. That is understanding. Now what does it mean that, oh, everything belongs to the Lord? Now what does it mean? Then you'll have to think and do manan. Another 5 years you will go to understand this knowledge. First is discovery. Second is understanding. Third is application. So when you discover, understand and apply the knowledge, then the knowledge will be yours fully. Right now, today, we have just discovered this knowledge. Oh, everything belongs to the Lord. Yes. What does it mean? Okay, I'll have to think about it. Yeah, let me get to know more. Yeah, and then after you've understood the knowledge, you will apply the knowledge. And then when you apply the knowledge, then it becomes fully understood. Like, for example, when the apple fell on Newton's head, now he discovered, he was thinking, oh, why did the apple fall down? Why did the apple not go up? From the tree, it should have gone up, no? But why did it fall down only? So then he thought, oh, maybe there is something which is pulling. Oh, is it gravity? Then he understood gravity. Then to understand it more, he formulated the 3 laws. We all studied Newton's 3 laws, isn't it? Yeah. So Newton's 3 laws we learned, and then basically we understood about gravity more. Then we started to apply that knowledge. We applied that knowledge in rocket, in aeroplanes, and then we have to overcome this force of gravity. And then, because if before that we didn't know, and therefore we never could understand. So understanding is the second step. Discovery, understanding, and third step is application. Yeah. And at many times, some of these knowledges, like I'm a spirit soul. What does it mean to be a spirit soul? Everything belongs to Lord Krishna. What does it mean? Lifetime will go in understanding this, and maybe next janma we will apply. We don't know. Yeah, hopefully
Thank you. Can I ask one question last?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, since you mentioned about the ego, I was reading first kind of Bhagavatam. The Prabhupada is mentioning that the spirit
not
is
in the
bound
heart.
to the knot that binds the spirit to the matter is the ego.
Correct.
And Krishna relieves that ego and makes the person Jivan Mukta by the 2 methods he said. He can do it external potency and internal potency. How it is done with external potency?
By force, right? So there are yogic methods where you can use force to remove that particular thing. Internal methods are through intelligence. Yeah. Okay. So you will use intelligence. You'll start actioning on the intelligence, and automatically the segregation of the hard knot will happen. Yeah. By force is through yogic methods. There are these Ashtanga yoga methods in which you can do that.
Okay. Thank you. Actually, I couldn't attend your class because I was having I'm a maths teacher, so I have class exactly at 4.
Oh, is it?
So parallelly, whatever statements I hear. So
okay, no problem. All the best. Yeah, thank you so much for trying to do both. It's difficult, yeah. Hare Krishna. Okay, great. So if there are no other questions or comments, are there? No? Okay, great. So we will break here for the day. Please read ahead of this so that we can have more good discussions about all of these. More questions will come in. about all of this.
Can I ask one last question?
Yeah, Pawan Prabji, go ahead.
This recitation of the verses, like they visarga, is it very important? Like
Recitation is good, important if you do, but not very important. Understanding is more important.
Because I heard there is a application that if you pronounce it correctly, mode of goodness comes fast. Is it like that? Is there because Gayatri Mantra helps in coming standing holiness.
No. Don't do Gayatri Mantra unless it's
I'm
given by
not
the
doing
Guru.
Gayatri, but recitation is like that.
Yeah, best is if you do Hare Krishna Mahamantra, chant it nicely, chant it properly, it becomes definitely, there is purity there, right? So therefore it helps in the mode of goodness.
Thank you. Okay.
Hare Krishna. Okay, great. So we will stop for the day here with our closing prayers. Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Geetam Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva Eko Mantraha Tasya Namani Yani Karmapi Ekam Tasya Devasya Seva Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Krishnaya Vasudevaya Hare Paramatmane Pranatah Klesha Nashaya Govindaya Namo Namaha Krishnaya Vasudevaya देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कात्यायनी महामाये महायोगिन्यधीश्वरी नन्दगोपसुतं देवी पतिं मे कुरुते नमः श्रीकृष्णः शरणं मम दासोऽहं कृष्ण तवास्मि श्रीकृष्णः शरणं मम दासोऽहं कृष्ण तवास्मि श्रीकृष्णः शरणं मम दासोऽहं कृष्ण तवास्मि हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे श्रीमद् ईशोपनिषद की जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna.